Art Nerds, we are going to be talking about how to get some shadows on like sprinkles for your donut. So I have a couple that are on here. Sprinkles can be almost any kind of shape that you feel like. A lot of times they're sort of like, they look like sesame seeds, or you could be more picky and have them be rounded edges rectangles. They take a little bit longer to draw, but they look even more like sprinkles. Or maybe your sprinkles are circles. Okay, they're all acceptable sprinkles. Okay, we accept all types of sprinkles here. Be creative, be unique, or maybe even have a mixture of things. Make it look like confetti. All right, so as always, we want to keep in mind where our light source is when we're working with values. So if my sun's coming from over here, it gives me an idea of where my shadows are going to be, because since my sprinkles pop up from the top of my donut and the frosting that's potentially underneath, okay, we want to make sure that we have a shadow. Otherwise, it looks like it's really flat. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight really quick with my regular pencil where your shadows are going to be, depending on where your sprinkle is kind of located. Okay, and keep in mind that my donut is not going to be pencil colored. Okay, this is just an idea of where it's going to be. You might end up having like darker versions of your frosting, as like I had my darker version of my frosting for my shadow of my drizzle in my previous videos. So what you're going to end up doing is you're imagining these lines coming from your light source. Okay, and if it touches this side of my sprinkle, I know that my shadow is going to be kind of over here. Okay, if it's going to be touching this top edge of my sprinkle, I know my shadow is going to be down here, and I'm going to draw mine a little dark. Okay, you'll do them extra dark. Okay, so it's right here, so that I know that my shadow is going to be on this side. It's going to be over here, so I know my shadow is going to be on this side. Okay, so if you have questions and you want to double check that you have your shadows in the right spot, ask me. Okay, I'm an open book, and actually you might be able to ask some of your classmates as well, because if they have a good understanding of how the light works, they're probably more than happy to give you a hand too. So I'm not going to do all of them, but that's sort of like an idea of where your shadows are going to end up going. Okay, and that helps us with the sprinkles themselves. So I'm going to make some pink sprinkles. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill them in with this nice pink color that I have. Okay, and what happens is, just like with my icing in my previous video, you are going to be making a darker version of that color. So I have my pink, and then I have sort of like a dark pink. I have a magenta. Okay, and you are going to, on the sides that have the shadows, add some darker values of that color. Okay, so whether it's I'm using a light version of my one pencil, and then I just have the shadows be a darker part of it, because I can do that. That's fine. Okay, because then you have more options in your pencil box. Okay, or I could have the full value of my light colored pencil and then have the shadow with a darker pencil. Okay, both are acceptable. Okay, so I'm going to do a blow up version of what we have right here. So I have my sprinkle. Okay, and the light, okay, I'm going to be really obvious here, hitting it on that side, so that means my shadow's over here. So I'm going to end up having a shadow here in whatever color it's sitting upon, be it my actual donut or maybe it is the icing on top of the donut. Okay, and then I have my pencil. I'm going to add some color to it. Okay, depending on the size of your sprinkles, if they're bigger, okay, you might be able to fit some room in having like the light values closest to the sunlight, so it even looks like it's a little bit shiny, because sometimes they are a little bit shiny. Okay, nice and smooth candies on top of a delicious donut. Okay, and then as you move closer to the shadow, this bottom edge will be my dark value, so I'm going to outline that edge right there, and then I'm going to get lighter and lighter, so I'm pressing a little bit less and less as I move away from my shadow. Okay, and trying to blend it together. Notice how my pencil, I'm kind of moving sort of like a circular and oval kind of formation to try to keep it from having a bunch of lines. Okay, and that's how you add value to your sprinkles. So it'll take a little bit of time, especially because they're tiny and they need a lot of detail, but it looks super cool when you're done. So I hope that this video was helpful. Check out my other videos on value if you need some help with getting the main value, getting some drizzle on there, even some icing value, and ask me for help if you need it. Thanks, guys.